Welcome back to Hannity. There is major outrage in Michigan after the state's largest teachers union, the Michigan Education Association, announced its intention to give a $10,000 severance package to a former teacher and convicted child molester. Now, the former math and computer teacher, Neil Erickson, was found guilty of sexually abusing a 14-year-old boy over the span of 3 years and was sentenced to 15 to 30 years in prison. Pretty unbelievable. Now, we reached out to the MEA earlier today, and they defended their action, saying they are legally obligated to enforce a contract uniformly for all employees. But while the union fights to pay this criminal $10,000 in severance, it is bullying several hardworking, respectable teachers, including my next guest, Miriam Chanski, by refusing to let them opt out of the disgraced organization. Now, the union says these teachers missed the period that they call the August window to terminate their membership and are still trying to collect their dues. Joining me now to tell her story, kindergarten teacher Miriam Chanski, along with her attorney and director of the Mackinac Center Legal Foundation, Patrick Wright. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. Miriam, tell me your story. So you didn't want to be in the union, so tell us what happened.
That's correct. I chose to opt out for the 2013-2014 school year. I made that evident on my e-dues form last May, turned it in at the beginning of June, came back to school in September and found out that I was still a member. Okay,
you had records of what you sent in to them in May, right?
Right, I have records of what I sent in, correct.
All right, so then why are they saying you missed the August opt-out period then?
We were never told about the August window, so I sent my form in too early. I gave it to my president of my local union in June, and apparently she turned it in too early, so they are not honoring my request to opt out.
What grade do you teach, and why do you want to opt out?
I teach in kindergarten. I love my job. The reason that I am here is because my right was not honored to opt out. It's not necessarily about the reasons behind it, but rather that they won't honor my decision.
Okay, but it's what you want. All right, now, yes. You heard about this story, this convicted child molester, and the union now is protecting them and trying to go after, you know, the $10,000 severance. What's your reaction?
It's a horrendous act that was done. I find it very surprising that the MEA is standing behind this teacher and defending him to the point of getting money, where they won't support a teacher who went along the legal means and opted out of the union. They won't support me and let me out. However, they will stand behind him.
Patrick, from a legal standpoint, the MEA is claiming that they are contractually obligated to fight for the convicted child molester. Do you buy into that?
I haven't checked their contract. I do, again, find it somewhat odd if they're claiming a fiduciary duty that they didn't claim to have a right or a duty to tell the truth to all of their members. Miriam's not alone. There's many other people like her that were misled by the MEA about this August window. And you know, clearly this person the criminal has done horrendous acts, and the MEA is bending over backwards to fight for them. And yet they have all of these members who they hid relevant information from in order so that the MEA could enrich itself.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's the same thing with a lot of these unions. They're a rank and file that don't want to be members. And your client obviously went through all the proper procedures, even got this request in early. Did they deny that she sent this in May?
No, Right to Work, of course, is new in Michigan. We're the 24th Right to Work state. And they announced after the law passed that they were going to do everything to fight it, including not accepting any applications to resign from the union that were, quote, too early, or any of them that came too late. And so this is too early.
The application was sent in too early. You can't make this up.
That's what they said, yes.
Yeah. Well,
no, that's from Steve Cook, the MEA president.
All right, so what's the next step?
Well, we have it before a labor board in the state of Michigan, and we're trying to fight that out for behalf of Miriam and others like her, including Ray Arthur, who's a 34-year teaching veteran up in Petoskey, Michigan. And he thought that after 34 years of paying union dues that perhaps he should be given the right amount of information at the right time. And instead you've got this union that's choosing power over principle money over members and cash over colleagues.
Miriam, I mean, they go into the ends of the earth to get the severance for the convicted child molester, and here you are, young teacher, doing your job. Have you been bullied by anybody? Have people mistreated you because of your public position on this?
I've had several emails and notes sent to me, of course, on the other side of the matter. That's to be expected. I am thankful to say at school, if teachers don't agree, they don't bring it up. But I've definitely had disapproving emails and notes.
One of the other things that's important, Sean, is that her credit rating's been threatened, that the MEA is threatening across the board to try and go after and send teachers that don't pay this dubious dues claim to credit reporting agencies, and thereby trying to force them to give them money that they don't deserve.
Well, if they do that, then I think you got even a stronger case. Miriam, I wish you the best of luck, and Merry Christmas and happy holidays to your kindergarten class. Kindergarten was my favorite year. I had a lot of fun in that class. So,
I agree. It's my favorite.
All right, guys, thank you. And coming up next.